many times yesterday, too. Whenever you don't play a big spell in Clash Royale, you're always vulnerable to the big North. I'm pretty sure it's North. So the only US/Canadian player in the Bernard Chong Cup, the last left, is Ian. And here it is, going up against KK. And this is not a match that is easy by any means. KK at the bottom, Ian at the top. KK, it's weird to think of KK as underrated, just with all of his accolades, how long he's been in the game. Is Ian wearing a suit? Guys, how can you not cheer for Ian? He's wearing a suit. You gotta dress for success. You gotta dress the part. And right now, Ian's dressing the part. Let's crank this volume up. That's amazing. That's amazing. The smile, the suit. Come on. And my favorite emote. You gotta be kidding me. And what's next? The wiggle? They're throwing out the wiggles on the side? I love it. That's a new emote. I think it was kind of expensive. I think it was 1,000 gems, worth every penny. Ian's suited and booted. Oh, so you gotta suit up. You gotta dress for success. You gotta dress for the part that you want. KK going with Hog EQ out of the gate. Last two cards probably going to be, it could be Cannon. Could be Cannon. Last card, Cannon in a, probably Cannon or Tesla. And then going with Log. And then Ian going with a little bit of Log bait out of the gate. And it's weird because Ian, I've watched Ian play this Log bait deck a lot. And even in bad matchups, it seems like he figures out a way to win. And it all comes down to defense. Especially, people, the reason I don't like playing against this Log bait deck is because, well, first off, I don't like playing it because a lot of times it will go to, it becomes a spell cycle deck. A lot of times that if your opponent has a lot of answers to the Goblin Barrel, which there are a lot of answers in Clash Royale to the Goblin Barrel right now, where the Goblin Barrel doesn't get that much damage, where it all just comes down to your defense. If you can play perfect defense and set up your defense with your Inferno Tower, which is probably going to be the last card, it could be a Tesla as well, and then go with these rockets once you're into triple elixir, that's how the game usually ends. And wow, great Valkyrie picking up the Goblin Barrel. Ugh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a really hard matchup. If we're looking at KK, KK has a lot of answers to this Goblin Barrel. So this Goblin Barrel damage is probably going to be negligible. And these Earthquakes are going to deal damage every single time. This is good because right now you actually don't have to add anything. Earthquake isn't enough. A Hog Rider and an Earthquake is not enough to break through an Inferno Tower. You're going to have to log as well if you're KK. If KK wants, the only way he's ever going to get this Hog on tower is if he outcycles. I just don't know if he's going to be able to outcycle Ian's cycle. So goes with the Hog Rider, goes with the guards as well. Log's going to have to push it back. The Hog gets a shot. I don't know if that's good, but you know what? He takes the shot, he goes with the rocket, and he's going with the Goblin Barrel. Does able to deal with the Goblin Barrel very effectively. Cannon for the Princess, and yeesh. Ian's in the pressure cooker. But Ian's also smiling, so I don't know if he's in a good situation or a bad situation right now. I really don't know. I don't know. He looks confident, but I think maybe he's using the smile to hide his nerves because I don't know how you come back from this. You're pretty much going to make sure... how many Earthquakes? What does Earthquake do damage-wise? Does anybody know? It's, what, 270? 270? So, how many Earthquakes does he need to win? 6? 7? 270? 230? 230? 210. What is the answer? It's level 11. I think it's 270 at tournament stand, or at level 14, right? 271 tournament stand, or level 14, right? Actually, 210. So you're not in the danger zone, at least for Earthquakes, as long as you can stop these Hog Riders every single time. And this Hog Rider isn't going to be able to get a shot because the Log came in to push it back. And guards deal a sneaky amount of damage. There's been a lot of guards buffs over the past couple of years. And then, I don't remember what the last one was exactly, but that one really solidified them in the meta. Rocket coming in, the game's getting closer. Are you back to an Inferno Tower? Inferno Tower comes down. Not the perfect placement, just because the other tower isn't going to be able to hit it. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. Guards for the Archer Queen. Log comes in just to get a little bit of damage for Ian. Tries to go with the Princess to get a shot on tower. Doesn't get the shot on tower. Earthquake comes in. Inferno Tower is in the Earthquake. Does he have any way to stop this Hog Rider? Log comes in. Hog Rider's going to get the last shot. That's going to be GG, well played. So I know that sounds crazy, but Ian is a great Expo player. And that's what I used to do in the past. In the past, I always thought spells first. Now, I think you can make the argument. I think you look at champions. If you look at KK, he just used his Archer Queen. So most likely he's going to use his Skeleton King. Or use his Skeleton King for game number 2 or game number 3. Or Golden Knight. I was not expecting you. We saw the Golden Knight once yesterday. The Golden Knight's not in a good position right now. He got a little bit of a nerf, and that nerf hit him hard. We don't really see the Golden Knight, and you know what? KK comes out with the Golden Knight. Did not expect that. Did Morden play yet? No, Morden didn't play yet. He's going to play not next. I think he plays third. Tesla or Inferno for log bait. It depends on where you are in ladder. It depends. It depends on your deck as well. I don't know. I would say maybe Inferno Tower now. I think Inferno Tower now. Tesla's gotten a lot of nerfs recently. Ian will make a comeback. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. So Skeleton King coming out for Ian. It looks like we have a little bit of Graveyard. Is it... It's going to be... Last 3 cards are Tombstone. He's using the Mega Minion. It's going to be Zappies as well. Yes. And then it's going to be Tombstone and Graveyard for Ian. Last 2 cards. Last 3 cards for KK. It looks like we're going to go with a little bit... I don't think it's going to be Electro Giant. I'm looking at what we saw yesterday, and we didn't see any Electro Giant. We always saw Golem. So I'm expecting it's Golem. The pro players, and especially the pro community, yes, there's a little bit... No, we did see a lot of Japanese players. Sometimes there's a little bit of a difference in meta. Golem. It has to be Golem, right? Yeah, it has to, because when do you see... Yeah. I'm going to go Golem. I don't think I've ever seen... Yeah, there it is, Golem. I don't think I've ever seen Electro Giant played without a Goblin Cage. It's always Goblin Cage. Always. I don't think I've ever seen Cannon Cart with Electro Giant. It doesn't seem really useful. Nah, it's Golem, Tornado, Lightning. Yeah. I kind of wanted to... It's one of those things where I kind of knew it was happening, but I wanted to see the Electro Giant. I want to see the Electro Giant come out once at least today. Or maybe the Electro Giant's not in a good spot in the meta. I would love to ask one of these pro players why. It's probably because of the matchup dependency. It has to be. It looks like Ian has so many answers. It sucks because if Ian... It would be awesome if Ian had the Inferno Dragon instead of the Mega Minion in this deck. I think it would be a free win for Ian. But having this Mega Minion, I wonder if it's going to change stuff. Yes, the Mega Minion is good against the Baby Dragon. Yes, it's still solid against... It still deals damage. It's hard to take off. It does get taken out by Lightning, which the Inferno Dragon does not. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Ian does need to deal a lot of the damage on this right side. As long as he can have a clean defense on this right side and have a counter push and go with one more Graveyard, he should be able to win here, or at least deal a lot of damage. It all comes down to this defense. Golden Knight comes in. This Golden Knight might be able to dash on tower. Oh my gosh. It dashed on the skeletons. It's crazy how little the dash is for the Golden Knight now. It went from, what, 5 tiles to 4 tiles? But why does it even seem less than that? And there it is, GG. This is what Golem does, though. Just because you don't have a big spell, you're not able to deal with this big clump of units ever. Taking out the bowler early on, that's GG well played. Not having a big spell. We saw that happen so many times yesterday, too. Whenever you don't play a big spell in Clash Royale, you're always vulnerable to the big attack. The big beatdown push. Ad. Oh. How is there an ad? How long have we been streaming? Oh, there is an ad right now. GG's, KK. Coming out the gate really strong, and Ian's got to go back to the drawing board. Massive nerf indeed. The Golden Knight is definitely not a card that it used to be. It used to be broken. KK clean sweep. He looked good. KK looked good. He pulled out 2...